The Cowsills were a famous family band in the 60s, known for happy songs like The Rain, The Park, and other things. Everyone thought they were living the dream, making music together and being on TV. But their life had a sad secret. Their dad, Bud, was very tough and mean to them, which hurt the family a lot. He was in charge and made things really hard, causing a lot of problems that eventually broke the band apart. Even though they were popular and made lots of great music, the Cowsills had to deal with a lot of pain because of their dad. Their story shows how they looked happy on the outside, but were actually struggling inside. It's about how they tried to keep going and make music even when things were tough at home. People loved them for their catchy tunes and the fact that they were a family making music together. The group was made up of brothers, Bill, Bob, Barry, and John Cowsill, and they started out by playing music at places near where they lived. This local fame eventually helped them become known on a larger scale. One of their biggest songs, The Rain, The Park, and Other Things, was a huge hit, reaching number 2 on the music charts and selling 3 million copies, which made them well known not just in America, but in other countries too. Another big moment for the Cowsills was when they recorded the song Hair from the musical of the same name. This was a big deal because it showed off how well they could sing together and how special it was that they were a family doing this. They had to record some parts of the song over 100 times to get it just right, which shows how hard they worked and the kind of challenges they had to overcome to make their music sound perfect. The song was a big success and got to number 2 on the charts in the United States, which was impressive, especially because the song had complicated parts and there were some concerns about the lyrics. However, not everything was as happy as it seemed. The Cowsills had a lot of problems because of their father, William Bud Cowsill. He was in charge of the group and made a lot of the decisions for them, but he wasn't always nice about it. In fact, he could be very controlling and mean, which caused a lot of issues for the family, both personally and with their music career. There were times when his bad management led to money problems and other difficulties for the family. Now, despite these troubles, the Cowsills kept making music and performing together. This shows how strong their family ties were, and how they didn't let these challenges stop them from doing what they loved. The Cowsills didn't just make music, they left a big mark on TV and pop culture too. Their family band setup and their stories helped shape shows like The Partridge Family, which a lot of people watched and loved. This means that the way the Cowsills mixed their family life with their music career influenced how people thought about family bands and became a model for others to follow. Their journey is a mix of great music, family bonds, and the tough parts of being famous. It gives us a closer look at how complicated the music world can be and what it was like in the 1960s when culture and music were changing a lot. Years after they first became famous, the Cowsills started to get popular again. They kept on performing and even made new music that both people who had been fans for a long time and those who were just discovering them could enjoy. This comeback shows that their music and the stories about their family, creativity, and how they dealt with hard times still grab people's attention today. The Cowsills became a big deal on TV, showing up on popular shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and The Mike Douglas Show around 200 times a year. They were more than just a band. They became a well-known brand. They were in commercials for milk, other ads, and they even had their own comic book. Because of their interesting life in music, they inspired the creation of the TV show The Partridge Family, which many people know and love. This made the Cowsills a name that many families knew. Their influence goes beyond just the notes they played or the songs they sang. By being both a family and a band, they showed the world a new way to think about making music together. The Cowsills faced a lot of challenges, like dealing with fame and the tough parts of working with family, but they also had a lot of good times. These experiences made their story rich and full of lessons about sticking together and pushing through tough times. Now, as they continue to perform and share their music, they remind us of the power of sticking with what you love, the importance of family, and the impact that music can have across generations. This blend of old and new fans, the continuation of making music, and their story's relevance today illustrates the timeless nature of their appeal and the deep connection they have with the themes of family, creativity, and resilience in the face of adversity. Between the years 1967 and 1969, it felt like their songs were everywhere, with 8 of their tracks making it into the top 100 charts. To us, they seemed unbeatable, like they would be at the top of the music world forever. However, their fame seemed to disappear as quickly as it had arrived, and by 1972, they had faded into the background, leaving behind memories of their music that reminded us of our younger days. The change of seasons, with leaves turning colors and the cooler air, often brings back memories and questions about what happened to the Cowsills. In conversations filled with laughter and a sense of longing for the past, we found ourselves wondering about the fate of this family band that had been such a big part of our youth. Then, one day, when I was scrolling through Amazon Prime, I stumbled upon a documentary called Family Band: The Cowsill Story. This film, released in 2011 and narrated by Bob Cowsill, one of the band's key members, caught my attention. Watching it felt like uncovering a treasure, revealing a story that was both dark and fascinating about a group of siblings who had disappeared from the public eye almost 50 years ago. It wasn't just about their music. It delved into the family dynamics, the struggles, and the challenges they faced, both as a band and as a family. It shed light on the complexities of their relationships, the pressures of fame, and how they navigated the highs and lows of their careers. The film also explored the impact of their father's management on their professional and personal lives, adding layers to the story of their success and subsequent vanishing from the limelight. For those of us who grew up with their music as the backdrop of our youth, the documentary was a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of fame and the enduring impact of music on our lives. It brought back a flood of memories, reigniting conversations about the songs we used to listen to on that old radio and the games we played. The Cowsills story, as told through film, connected us once again to a time when their music filled the air and our days with joy. It was a journey of discovery, unearthing the truths behind the band that, for a few shining years, had captured the hearts of many, and then seemed to disappear, leaving us to wonder about their fate until now. This unexpected dive into the history of the Cowsills through the documentary not only answered many questions, but also sparked a newfound appreciation for their music and the legacy they left behind. It was a bittersweet reflection on the reality of the entertainment industry and the resilience of those who find themselves within it. You see, the story of the Cowsills begins with a simple dream: Bill and Bob Cowsill aspiring to emulate the Beatles' success. They learned to play the guitar on their own and started making music. Soon, their brothers Barry and John joined them. At first, things didn't go well. They tried working with Mercury Records, but it didn't work out, leaving them feeling disappointed. However, things started to look up for them when MGM Records decided to give them a chance. An unexpected suggestion from MGM to have their mother sing on their song The Rain, the Park, and Other Things really made them stand out. At first, Bob Cowsill didn't like the idea of having his mom in the band. It's not common to think about making music with your mom, but having their mom join them ended up being a great move. The song became very popular, reaching number 2 on the music charts and selling more than 3 million copies. The band grew as they added their brother John and sister Susan to the lineup, and their dad, Bud Cowsill, became their manager. But this change wasn't good for the band. When Bud started managing them, it led to a lot of problems and disagreements, which eventually caused a lot of trouble for the group. The story of the Cowsills shows how ambition, family relationships, and the tough nature of the music business can intertwine. It's a story about a family band that became very loved in America and then disappeared, leaving a legacy filled with unanswered questions and fascination. Bob was very determined and good at finding opportunities, but his way of doing things sometimes caused problems. He often got angry and had trouble with alcohol, which made it hard for him to work with others. His unpredictable and aggressive behavior created issues in many situations. Bob said that people in the entertainment industry learned to stay away from dealing with Bud Cowsill and their band because of his difficult behavior. Their big chance to be on The Ed Sullivan Show, which was a huge deal in the 1960s and showcased big stars like Elvis and the Beatles, was ruined because of Bud's actions. They were supposed to be on the show 10 times, but after a small problem during their first appearance, Bud argued with a producer related to Ed Sullivan, and they lost the chance to be on the show again. Life at home was also hard because of Bud Cowsill's unpredictable temper. He could be very harsh and sometimes abusive. Bud, who was once in the Navy, was very strict and often unkind to his kids. he didn't get along with his son Richard, leading to many arguments. Despite Bill Cowsills' attempt to include Richard in the band as a drummer, Bud didn't think Richard was good enough after a short tryout. This led to Richard joining the military at 18 and going to Vietnam. Being left out of the band and going to war hurt Richard a lot emotionally. Bob, Richard's twin, said that this experience was very tough on Richard and left him with deep emotional wounds. Bud Cowsill was not just any dad. He was a father who saw something special in his children. He believed they had a real gift for music and poured his energy into making sure the world saw their talent. His support was unwavering, always there with a warm gesture or a helping hand, exemplified by his offering of a cup of coffee and the words, "Anything for a buddy." This kind of encouragement was the backbone for the Cowsills, a family pop band that began to catch the eye of audiences far and wide. As their popularity soared, with hits like Indian Lake and We Can Fly dominating the airwaves, they eventually secured a TV show featuring the renowned actor Buddy Ebsen. Their song Hair became a standout success, though it ironically signaled a downturn in their fame by 1969, coinciding with a pivotal and damaging decision by Bud. In an edition of Screen Parade magazine, there was a revealing interview with Bill Cowsill, the band's lead vocalist. He discussed the common issue of bands breaking up due to internal conflicts, but also expressed confidence that the Cowsills, being a tight-knit family, would be immune to such a fate. However, this belief was put to the test in a dramatic incident in 1969. During a gig in Las Vegas at the Flamingo Hotel, tensions between Bud and Bill, who had both been drinking, escalated into a public altercation. In an uncomfortable scene, Bud confronted Bill aggressively in front of Bill's newlywed wife, sparking a significant clash. It was unusual for anyone in the Cowsill family to challenge Bud, but Bill, driven by the moment, attempted to defend himself. This confrontation spiraled out of control, ultimately leading to Bud's arrest by state troopers after he attempted to escalate the confrontation physically. This incident highlighted the complex dynamics within the Cowsill family, underscoring the pressures and challenges that come with fame and family ties. Bud Cowsill took a drastic step after the confrontation, deciding not only to remove Bill from the band, but also to declare him no longer a part of the family. This decision fell heavily on the family's shoulders, especially when Bud appointed Bob as the new lead singer, a role Bob was neither prepared for nor interested in assuming. The impact of this decision was far-reaching, causing not just a rift within the family, but also significantly harming the band's dynamics and future prospects. Despite Bill's vital contribution to their music and popularity, the Cowsills tried to move forward without him. They managed to release 3 more albums in the aftermath, yet none of these projects captured the public's attention like their earlier hits. The lack of success led to the inevitable disbanding of the Cowsills as a music group. As time passed, the changes within the family and their professional journey were stark. Facing hardships and navigating through the complexities of life and the music industry, there was a glimmer of hope that things might improve. In 1972, an attempt to reunite the 4 original Cowsill brothers bore fruit in the form of a new song, Covered Wagon. However, this effort did not reignite their career as hoped, effectively marking the end of the Cowsill band's musical journey. Amid these challenges, the siblings were comforted by the thought of a financial safety net, a trust fund filled with their earnings, which was believed to hold around $20 million from their years of success. The reality of their financial situation came crashing down when they inquired about accessing their trust fund, only to be met with Bud's shocking denial of its existence. This revelation led to the heart-wrenching discovery that their financial security had disappeared. Further adding to their woes, Bob Cowsill later shared his personal struggle of having to repay the IRS for back taxes on income he never received, highlighting the severe mismanagement of their earnings. The story of the Cowsills, detailed in a documentary, unfolds like watching a tragedy. It brought to light not just the reasons behind the band's sudden disappearance from the music scene, but also the depth of their familial and financial struggles. Despite the hardship and betrayal faced at the hands of their parents, the documentary showcases the siblings as humble, compassionate, and resilient individuals. Their journey through adversity revealed not only the wounds they carry, but also the strength of their bond as a family, which remained intact even in the face of their father's detrimental actions. This tale of talent, turmoil, and togetherness highlights the complex layers of their lives, both as a family and as a band, navigating through fame, fall, and the hope of forging ahead despite the odds. The Cowsills story is a sad tale of a family band facing tough times after their fame faded. Barry and Bill Cowsill both struggled with addiction and sadly passed away. Barry after Hurricane Katrina, and Bill on the day of Barry's memorial. Richard came back from Vietnam with a heroin addiction, but managed to get better, even though he felt left out by his family. The other siblings found different paths. Bob runs a business and still sings. John plays drums for the Beach Boys. Paul works in construction and landscaping, and Susan sings with the Continental Drifters. They sometimes come together to perform as the Cowsills. Their story is similar to other bands from the same era who faced tragedies, like the Beach Boys, with their internal struggles and Brian Wilson's mental health issues, or Lynyrd Skynyrd, who lost members in a plane crash. These stories show how fame and success can come with serious personal and health problems. The Cowsills documentary on Amazon Prime gives a deep look into their life, showing both their rise to fame and the challenges they faced afterwards. Much like documentaries on other bands from the 60s and 70s reveal the darker sides of the music industry. Did the Cowsills story touch your heart? Smash that like button, subscribe for more hidden tales of music legends, and share your thoughts in the comment section below.